Well, hello there, and this is Auntie. Excuse me, y'all. And I'm here to do my review of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, Season 4, Episode 13 Winds Do Not Blow. Oh, I'm going to have to make a correction. Let's do it, y'all.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop
auntie
boop.
that
You can make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even fuckers?
Aunties and lies, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, hello, everybody, and this is Auntie. And if this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. If I had to rate this episode of A 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, Season 4, Episode 13, Winds Do Not Blow, I would rate this episode a C minus. Let me know downtown in the description box what you would rate this episode. It was filled with too much of Gabriel and not enough of Chris and Jamie. I really like to see when they do a balance, right? Of everybody, and I didn't think that this episode that they did that. So it's a C minus for me. I almost want to rate it a D, but I think Rishi and everybody made up for it. Yeah. So let me bring these people up. I got my glasses on. I see y'all down in the comments. I see that. Congratulations. Who is that? I just saw. Hold on. Where'd Melinda go? Melinda says she graduated. Congratulations, Melinda. There she go. Congratulations, sweetie. Okay, so I'm going to bring up these peoples up on this screen here so we can talk about some of the couples I did not study long, so I may have studied wrong. But y'all excuse me. Okay. So the first couple I want to talk about is Isabel and Gabriel. I thought that they spent entirely too much time on this particular couple. It appears that nobody, and I mean, and when I say nobody, it seems like nobody knows Gabriel. He is, I mean, like like nobody knows him. His own sister doesn't know him. He's hiding things. He talks out both sides of his mouth. His sister thinks that she love him, and they know each other, and they just don't know each other. And it's like he's causing chaos and confusion amongst women. And all these women play a very important part in his life. And so I'm not getting it, bitch. I'm not getting the understanding. I know he's supposed to be getting married and all of that kind of stuff, but he need to man up. He needs to man up and he needs to be real and he needs to stop hiding everything. I don't know what that's about because he seems like he has support coming from every which way but left. And I just don't understand him at all. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time on him because he's been a turn off for me from the beginning. Okay, from the beginning. The next couple that I want to talk about is Nicole and Mahmoud, right? She has made a decision, to have a conversation with him about moving back to America and wanting him to apply for the visa. So he has a conversation with his brother about the situation. And his brother is saying everything to him that Nicole is going through. It's amazing how the brother can be sympathetic and give him warnings and tell him that, he's not going to like America. He's going to be away from family and all that kind of stuff when there's an expectation that Nicole does that. And so I just was like, this is a whole bunch of bull crap, and it just really lets you see the inconsideration that they have for Nicole. She's supposed to, I guess, as a woman, come over and make the adjustment to her husband and all that and his way of life. But now when the shoe could possibly be on the other foot, he don't want Mahmoud to make the same adjustments or have to try to make the same adjustments. I like the fact though that he did tell his brother, I at least got to give it a chance. And it's not fair for me not to do that because she has sacrificed for the last 4 years in order to make an adjustment of living in Egypt. And so I need to try to do the same thing for her. Now, one of the things that the brother did say about Nicole that I did agree with is that there's going to be an issue of clothes. Bitch, when Nicole gets back to America, honey, she probably gonna strip when she coming off the plane in border patrol. By the time she crossed that plane threshold and is coming down on that ramp, Nicole gonna probably be child ass out. She is not going to adjust or make any adjustments to wear the clothes that he wants her to wear. He said, what goes on here as far as the clothes goes on there. And I don't think so. I don't think so. Especially when Nicole get to hooking back up with her friends and stuff. Like, I mean, the expectations that they have for each other, in my opinion, are extremely unrealistic. And nobody wants to see a divorce or anything like that. But I just don't think that they were compatible from the beginning. And the lifestyle that they have wanted her to live, she just can't do it because she's had her independence for too long and she's unable to make the adjustment. And she just don't have that kind of personality to be doing all of that stuff. So, I mean, we'll see. I thought that they was rather boring and, it is what it is. The next couple that I want to talk about is Danielle and Yohan. And this couple really just needs to split up as well. I mean, really, the way that he talks to her, the way that he talks to now, okay, wait a minute, hold on. Let me just make sure I say this. I am not an advocate for Nicole. I mean, for Danielle. I'm not an advocate for Danielle. I don't fuck with Danielle. I don't really even like Danielle. But right is right and wrong is wrong. He talks so down to her. He's so disrespectful. He acts like a complete narcissist. He wants everything to be his way and not Nicole's way. And it has just gotten old as hell. Nicole, despite what he has Danielle, why am I calling her Nicole? Despite what he has asked her and told her that he did not want her to do as it relates to her old boyfriend, she did it anyway. She went out with him on a little boat ride and, they talked and all that. And now she's back at the camp telling him that she wants him to, meet her friend. And so he's like, I don't want to. I have friends because, she challenges him and says, you got friends. I want our friends to be each other friends. I want my friends to be your friends. I want your friends to be my friends, et cetera, et cetera. But he doesn't see it that way because he is very controlling, and he feels like, she is his wife. He's beating his chest, you know what I'm saying? I am man, and you do as I tell you to do, and not the fuck what I do. So she is continuing to go through this conversation with him to say, I want you to meet my friend. So he was like, all right, then. All right, I'll meet him. But when he says, all right, I'll meet him, she doesn't read the room, right? Because she doesn't realize that he's doing it like, all right, you asked for this. I'm going to give you what you asked for. I'm going to embarrass the fuck out you. Thank you so much, Tamika, for the $1.99 super chat. Girl, I'm almost finished. It's 10 minutes and I'm almost at the last couple. I'm going to be done with this, but thank you, Tamika. She's not looking at this and realizing that it's a setup. If he says yes to something, his birthday party, all of that stuff, is a setup for a fuck up. Like, he is seriously, I don't get it. And she keeps saying, I don't want this for a relationship. I don't want this in my life. But this is what you got. And this is what happens when you marry a souvenir. This is what happens when you go out, you know what I'm saying? And you out there on the dock of the bay and it's warm, the sun is kissing your skin and all that. Leave out there. Leave it there. But no. That's not good enough for her. She wants him to do it. She thinks that she's winning. And from my perspective, from me looking in, she's not winning. She's absolutely not winning. Like, at all. So they decide to get together and everything. He's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead on and, meet him. So they get, then he's waiting and dude walk up. I don't even remember his damn name. He woke up and he got on the pink little, outfit, shirt and short outfit. And I thought he looked fine. But Yohan was like, I wouldn't be, caught in nothing like that. But your black ass got on red up against your skin. Like, boy, bye. There was nothing wrong with that pink outfit that man had on. Now, would I want my boyfriend to have something on like that? Probably no. I don't mind a man wearing pink, but don't wear the pink together. Like, put the pink shirt on and then put some jeans on, some denims. Cut that, cut the pink out a little bit. And I mean, and it doesn't make him less masculine because dude is very masculine, very nice looking and all of that kind of stuff. But Yohan is just, he's just ultra critical of people and he's out to get blood. And so the two of them begin to talk and, he asks, how did he meet Danielle and all that kind of stuff. And then he tells dude to stand up. And so, of course, they men, ready to bump chests and, be like lions, in the safari. You know what I'm saying? Sizing each other up. So Yohan is sizing him up and, one is 6'4", one is 6'5". So he sit down, he's satisfied. And then he comes back and he, asks him about his shoe size. And I'm like, what? Why are you asking him about his shoe size? But of course, we all know, all of us who are grown and sexy, we know why he's asking him that. And then he goes on further to ask him about his wiener size. But who asks another man about that? Who asks another man about the size of his wieners? So now you really crossed the line. And then he says, Danielle like men with big ones. But bitch, who's looking for one with a small one? I'm just asking, like for a friend. Because, I don't do that kind of stuff. But who does that? He sits there and embarrasses this girl in front of this guy. And she starts crying. And I wish she would dry her tears up. Because I'm telling you, a man like this, Danielle, he don't deserve your tears. And boo, trust me, I don't really like you, but I got to tell the truth about what I believe I saw. I've got to give my opinion about what I saw. Pam and Pamela and Dana, have y'all been in a membership? If not, make sure y'all look at that membership video. Don't say nothing out here, but make sure y'all look at it. So, all the members, click on the membership video. Okay. Public service announcement. Exactly. Dana said he didn't ask about his bank account size. And you know what the thing about it is, Yohan is a kept man, and Danielle is sitting there crying, and I'm saying, boo, don't give him no tears. Because he doesn't care about you crying. He wanted you to. He set it up that way. She's manipulative. She's very conniving, in my opinion. But it doesn't excuse the way that he talks to her. It just doesn't. What color is your lipstick, Auntie? I love it on you. The pencil that I have around my lips is Chestnut by MAC. And the lipstick that I have on is from Juvia's Place. It is a nude and it is called Bronzed Sugar. So around my lip is Chestnut, and this is a gloss by Juvia's Place. It melts down into a nude. So, and I keep saying I'm going to come out here and tell y'all what I got on my lips, and I always forget to tell y'all. So, yes, this is from Juvia's Place. I love Juvia's Place products for my lips. I love Juvia's Place stuff. Okay. But I think that she needs to leave him. She needs to break up with him. And I'm just like, nah. Who else do we got? I want to thank you to those people who reached out to me. You know who you are. Okay. Thank you for reaching out. So this got really funky. Because Jen and Randy came up with a master plan on exposing Rishi. They'd have hired a fucking translator to go over there to translate everything that's being said over there, including the birds outside, bitch. Girlfriend was uncomfortable about this, and they woke up in the house. They in the car. They got their plan going on and everything. Jen made a mistake. A crucial mistake, in my opinion. She made a mistake that could possibly cost her relationship. Because here's the thing. Randy was oh too happy to help. Randy was just a little bit too damn happy for me to help. But they came up with this plan. I always look at stuff like this and think to myself, your friend is grown. If she can't figure this out on her own, she doesn't need to be in a relationship. That's just point blank into the period for me. There is one thing about me helping my girlfriend. There's a whole different thing when I'm confronting a family bitch with a script in my hand. For her, She allegedly has been in this relationship with him for years. This is not her first time being here. This is not her first time meeting the parents. And you can't talk for yourself, Jen. I got a whole ass problem with that when we as women work out in the corporate world and are supposed to stand up for ourselves. But when it comes down to a relationship, we mum and can't say shit. We can't defend ourselves. We can't say what it is that we need to say. That's some bullshit to me. Like straight up, that's some bull. And Randy should not, and Randy and the other girl, I can't even think of her name, they should even got in it. But they sitting there with the parents and they're asking these questions around these interviews. These women that the parents have picked for Rishi to date and to go out with. And so, they're answering the question. And Jen says that now she realizes that Rishi didn't have nothing to do with it. The mother clearly said, we brought some women over here, but he denied all of them. He wasn't interested in it. For me, it should have stopped then because that was a big blowout at the restaurant when Jen went in the bathroom because she felt like Rishi was giving her inconsistent information. But it was a matter of lack of clear communication between the two of them. She sits there and says, you know what? I was wrong. Now I realize what I did in the restaurant was wrong. She should have cut the script off with Randy then. But the audacity of them to go into a foreigner's home and to disrespect one fucking member of that family. I thought that was just disrespectful. I would love to hear why they thought that was okay to go in his mother's house, his mama's house, and blindside his mother. How is that okay in any country? It's not okay to blindside the mother like that. It's not okay to offend Rishi under his own roof. That's not okay. That it did not come off right. And then the thing about it, you can look at Randy and see the heaving and hoeing that she was doing. Randy was just about to hyperventilate. Bitch, I'm thinking, does anybody got a brown paper bag close for Randy's ass? And then they got this young girl, and Rishi said, I wish they hadn't brought a young girl because this may give my parents an idea of her being, a possible candidate for me. It wasn't right. Then the other girlfriend is sitting up in there and she don't even have a shawl on in the man mama house. Now, Rishi has asked Jen multiple times to cover up. But here they are sitting up in the mother house and the girl got on like a spaghetti strap. Up in Rishi in the mama house. I don't have no understanding, like, boo, for real? Like, we in Rome, do as the Romans. When in India, do as the Indians. Like, what? So they sitting in there, they're going back and forth, And so the other girl was like, is the mother curious as to why we're asking all these questions? And so she was like, the mother was like, yeah, kind of. I'm just figuring, it's some woman that he dealing with, he models and he be at the gym. So, maybe it's another woman that he's interested in and everything. And so she was like, well, Randy was like, well, like, you know what? I got something I need to tell everybody. Because she's a negotiator, remember? So she says, I got something I need to tell everybody. Girl, I thought she was going to pass the fuck out. She was so uncomfortable. Jen should have shut that down. Once she found out she was wrong about one thing, she should have shut the rest of that down. And Rishi said, I usually interpret, I know it's going to go downhill because they done brought somebody else. I would have been able to control the narrative. Now that was foul. But it was totally understandable because this is his mom in them house. If Jen is with a man who has made a decision after all these years and all these rings not to tell his mother, then you don't need to fuck with him. Because if it ain't this, it's going to be something else. She goes, Randy says, well, they wanted to, basically have a discussion about, the engagement and how to proceed with the ceremony and the announcement. And the mother was like, and I must say, on behalf of his mother and his uncle, that they handled that perfectly. Because in an American home, if she had came up in there, tables would have been turned over. Chairs would have been flying across the room, silverware, china, and some more stuff. Pillows, the animals in the house, stuff would have been getting tossed and turned up and up like a salad. There is no way in the world that was okay. But that mother handled it with so much grace. In her own way, she shut that down. She shut it down. She shut it down. Thank you, boo. I just saw that. Hold on, let me see. Oh, thank you, and Wilson. That's so sweet. Now, I think I saw a super chat, y'all. I'm sorry. I thought I saw one earlier. Did I miss it? Thank you so much, Queen T, for the 199 super chat. Wrong as two left shoes. Just wrong, Queen T. Thank you, boo. Thank you so much, Card Tip Steven, for the $2 super chat. The entitlement of it all. Okay. We don't know how to act. We don't know how to act up in somebody else's stuff. The mother was like, okay. And when she said it, she looked at Rishi like, Jen did. Jen, you was wrong. It looked awfully desperate. And sis, you gotta work on your self-esteem, in my opinion. Because this was wrong on so many levels. You would not have ever wanted someone to come in and blindside your loved ones. But again, as I said, the mother handled it with grace and with dignity. The mother shut down any further questions and said, we're going to have a conversation about this situation. I ain't mad at nobody. Thank you all for coming. But now it's time for all of y'all to get the fuck out. They go outside and Rishi think it's over. He thinks that his mother has agreed that it is all right because the mother was like, they grown, can't tell him what to do. But the mother gave the appropriate answer at the right time because it shut down the rest of the conversation and it made Jen feel like she had won. And when they went outside, Rachel was, of course, still shaking because she was shaking. And she was like, I'm sorry, I mean, and he was like, fine, it was fine with me, whoop, whoop, whoop. But honey, when he went back in there and talked to his mother was like, what the fuck was that? You don't blindside me. When they asked Jen, where are they going to live? If they get married, and she says somewhere else other than up underneath that roof, that uncle said, "Oh no, he gonna stay up in here. You can go stay where you gonna stay, but he gonna stay here. Like this is where he gonna be. This is his permanent spot right up in this one." The uncle was like, "Don't play with me because I ain't here to play the game." So he sits down with his mother now, and his mother was like, what's going on? Why, why would they come in here like that? Why would they ask these questions? Why wouldn't you even say anything to me? You should have gave me a heads up that this is what happened. But as Rishi said, if he had been the one that was interpreting, he would have just lied through that whole thing. So it just goes to show you that Rishi has no integrity. Whether Jen marries him now or marries him later, he's not a man of integrity, because he would sit in your face and your mama face and your uncle and them face, and he would tell them and lie. This is just the kind of person Rishi comes off as. Truly, he does. Truly, he does. But the mother was like, he was like, well, you said yeah. The mother said, I ain't say yeah. How old is she? Honey, when he said that she was 48, 46 or 48, and bitch, the uncle did the math and said that's like 15, 16 years. The mother said, what? You mean to tell me she can't even have no kids? Why would you want this old back? The mother said, it's a no for me. It's a motherfucking no for me. He said, well, I thought that you agreed. She said, I didn't agree to anything. I agreed to the book that was coming out. I was, courteous. I didn't go off up in here. But I didn't agree to this. I didn't say yes in the sense of saying, I give you my blessings. I never said that. And don't say I said that. Don't put words in my mouth. I know what I said. And I never said yes. And the mother said it's a no. And it's on these bases. It's on this and that. And it's on this. And it's on that. And it's on this. And it's on that. It's a no. And now he's sitting in the back after he done told Rachel and Jen that every little thing's gonna be all right. And thank you for doing this. Now he gonna go back to the astrology because he knew that the dude told him August 2nd or even August 3rd, bitch, not June 1. Not June 1. And that's the thing about it. Now, Rishi has taken to, I believe it was Instagram, and defended her and said that she knows about the culture. I'm not disputing that she doesn't know about the culture. She doesn't respect the religion or his astrology beliefs. Because if she did, she would have never had Randy do what Randy did. If he told her August 2nd, August 3rd was the fucking day, that's the day. That's respecting it. They was wrong. They was dead ass wrong. And I'm sure if they're looking at it now, if they look back at it now, they was wrong. Because why would Richie come out and defend her? Thou does protest too much. That's why. Last but not least, Debbie. Now, I'm getting ready to say something to y'all, and I'm probably going to piss some people off. And it's okay. We still gonna love each other. Why is Debbie, being this grown old ass age, able to act like a baby? Y'all wouldn't let me do that. Y'all would never let me act as dumb and dense as Debbie is acting. Debbie is in her 60s and she's talking about her childhood. Bitch, them childhood days are gone. Y'all would never let me sit up there and be, Oussama. Oh my God. Y'all would never let me sit here and sing no songs and say I'm a dog whisperer. Y'all would never allow me to act like that. So why are people giving Debbie an excuse to act like that? Y'all would not even subscribe, hit a subscribe button, a thumbs up. You wouldn't turn your motherfucking notifications on if I was acting like Debbie. Why are people giving Debbie and affording Debbie to act like a baby in her 60s? And now all of a sudden, Debbie is a victim? When her son told her, her daughter told her, everybody told Debbie. But Debbie want to go over there and paint and ride a donkey. Y'all need to wait because I am about to do a doll story on Debbie's ass that's going to have y'all on the floor. Y'all think that y'all like the doll story from Love After Lockup, Monique and Derek's proposal? Wait till you see my Oussama and my Debbie doll play. Y'all ain't seen nothing. Y'all gonna be kikiing and con. Make sure you wear a diaper and don't drink nothing. Soon as you see that thumbnail come up, don't drink, don't eat. Debbie is now sitting with Oussama and the honey their son went down. And Debbie is in shock that Oussama switched on her. But you could tell by his eyes. His eyes is cold switching on you. Debbie wouldn't told her son that Oussama acts like this when the sun go down. No, bitch, when he told you that you was going to send him, take him to America, the sun was up. Let's not talk about the sun going down, Debbie. You ain't that fucking stupid. Thank you so much, Betsy, for the $5 super chat. Mom was like, they brought their support where we have ours. Okay. Well, Mom didn't even go to the support because Mom said, I just made it an executive decision up in this. It's a no. Thank you, Betsy. Oussama said, the plan is that I am going to go with you to America. I am going to paint because painting here has no value. But America, they love a good painting. I'm going to make money and we're going to live happily ever after while I make all this money and send it back home and prepare for you to be laid to rest. Because I'm going to outlive you by 43 years. Now, that's an assumption because people going about it here young. But that's his assumption, in my opinion. Eyes crooked, going in all kinds of different. Let me tell you something. You are absolutely gorgeous. I was watching you yesterday, Dr. Payne. You are gorgeous. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Auntie, you cracked me up and you blessed me up. Oh my God, Dr. Payne. Those encouraging words that you were giving. I was trying to click in your chat and let you know that I was all rah for you. I tried to send you a damn badge and everything. Why nothing work? Thank you so much, Dr. Payne. Thank you. This month, she said, you lied to me. You told me that you would do anything for me, that you would love me. He said, I'm going to New York. I'm going to America. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to America. She said, you're a snake. You're a low down dirty snake. He said, yup, I'm a snake. I'm a motherfucker. I'm a son of a bitch. He said, I'm a snake. I'm an asshole. He said I'm a snake. I'm an asshole. I'm a motherfucker. I'm a son of a bitch. But I'm going to America. You're going to give me a mother. She said, I love a painter, but I'm not going to take care of you. He said, all right, well, I'm going to stop this shit then. He said, I ain't going another father. He said, why do you think I haven't wanted to be with you intimately? Because I see you as a sponsor and not as a girlfriend. I see you sponsoring my Aunt Debbie. I'm not going to pay and take care of you. You have just broken my heart. Oh, but you know what? Let's just get up from here. There's no need for us to talk anymore. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to pack my bags and I'm going home. He didn't care what she called him. He said the plan is for me to go to America and get rich, bitch. The plan is for me to go there and sit in the sun and paint all day on your dime. What part didn't you realize? You really think I was fucking with you? You really think I cared anything about you? I done sat up here in the heat of the sun and told you that you was crazy, delusional, strange, and some more. I done basically sat up here and cussed your ass out. Thank you so much, Nabra. Lesson for the $2 super chat. Debbie ignored all the red flags. The red flags, the red stoplights. I mean, the red sun, the red blood. I mean, everything red. She don't see it. But she's allowed to act like that. Bitch, y'all would never. Thank you, boo. Thank you so much, Dr. Payne, for the $4.99 super chat. I'm done. Debbie is Blanche from Streetcar Named Desire. Yes, honey. Yes. And I'm going to tell you what, Oussama is going to get to America. Because if you look at these channels with these romance scammers, because I have been into that lately, honey, it's one around every damn phone number. Every click of a damn website, dating website, not all of them, but some of them, it's a waiting for a Debbie. And here Debbie goes right back to her son. She sits there and she told him to call a cab. Bitch, he said, taxi, hello? Yeah, come pick this bitch up. She ain't taking me to America. Go get her. That cab was in lickety split. He didn't say nothing. He said what she won't be doing is crying nothing. She won't be accusing me of nothing. Whatever you want, I'ma do it. Because we don't need that heat at my house because this American woman is over here crying foul. He did the right fucking thing. He said what she won't do is do that. He got her out of there lickety split. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Next day, she calling Julian, her son. He like, hey, mama. Hey, baby. I miss you. He's like, what's up, mom? What's up? Cut all of that gone with the wind out. She said, Oussama's a dirty, snaky mother. He's a son of a bitch. Oussama said that I needed to get a visa. I told him I ain't paying for no visa. I don't want no man with no visa. I told him that my plan was to stay there and in a couple of years or so that I would fly back and see the kids. And Oussama said, no, that wasn't the plan. So you said, Debbie, that we never say that I was coming to you. She said, never. I planned on living here for eternity. Oussama said, you's a lie. Me and my family had already set this up for me to be in America. And Julian was like, Mom, cut this. When she was talking to her son, she was talking in plain language and she sounded like a grown ass woman. Debbie can turn it on and turn it off. Yes, she can. And that's exactly what she did. She stands there outside of the van, her Uber, and see, she deserves this. She thought that age wasn't a number when it comes down to love. Where at? Just like Rishi mother said. Rishi mother said there can be a big age difference in America, but we don't play that over here. Everybody is different. Rishi mother came straight out and said, we don't do that over here. We need you to marry somebody younger. You're not going to have no old woman. She said that the whole community, our friends, everybody that we got, that's riding with us, it's going to be an executive decision. No, she got her little council, her little group, and they give her good godly counsel. Well, we got a group too. We can go to our party too and find out what the fuck they say. But we already know it's a no. So the mother was like, I'm going to take it upon myself to just tell you it's a flat ass no. We ain't even going to the community. We ain't going to a family member. We ain't calling no cousins. We ain't doing none of that. Now you sit up there with your son and your son mad with him, but why? Your mama did this. When Debbie stood outside that van and said this was my fault, I got what I deserved, she didn't do us no favors. We already knew that. We already knew we didn't need that. It was your fault. She told me, I left my door open to a poem. And that poem got me hook, line, and sinker. And I will never let a poem come into my life and do that. I said, what the? Honey, you too old for this. You need to be teaching your grandkids and your great grandkids and your great 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 grandkids. And this ain't it. It's not it. And guess what? She stands there at the end after he done called himself all kinds of names with his eyes going every which way but looking at Debbie. Every which way but looking at Debbie. And she says, I miss my friend. Oh, my poor little childhood dreams have been crushed by one man. I opened my heart after being alone for 12 long years. And my childhood dreams are just gone. Oh, woe with me. Do you see me, my tears? If you don't grow up and stop this bullshit, Oussama is taking care of business, boom. He told her straight up, let me just cut this off right now. He said, it ain't no need. And the thing about it is, she's going to be back with Oussama. The handwriting is on the wall. What does this tell women? What example has Debbie been for women at this long grown age? What example is Debbie? Debbie is supposed to be teaching the women. not leading them astray. Age is nothing but a number until it counts. If a mother like me, he's got to know he ain't get no baby. My age now becomes a factor because ain't no baby coming up out of here. Immaculate conception or no. The oven has been shut down. It don't even warm up to over 350 degrees, bitch. It is going to bake something and it's going to take hours. And that's when you bring it out. It's going to be burnt and dried up, honey. Okay, now I ain't dry up, but I'm just saying. I'm I'm menopaused. My age is a factor. And you have to realize, no matter how cute that cliche sounds, age is a number. And it does matter in certain set situation. It does. And if she think that he ain't gonna come to America and find him some pretty young thing, I mean, he would have to get his grill fixed. I ain't feel sorry for her, and I know I'm dead ass wrong, but I did not feel sorry for Debbie. Not one little bit. Absolutely, DJ. Absolutely. Y'all hear Maisie. Maisie said, No, no, no. And for all of you all who have asked me, and been concerned about my dear Maisie, she is better. Thank you all so much for your inquiry. I love y'all. So y'all, this is the end of my review of 90 Day Fiance the Other Way. Y'all let me know in the chat and on the replay gang what you all thought of this episode of 90 Day Fiance the Other Way, season 4, episode 13, Winds Do Not Blow. Thank you all. Thank you to everybody who super chat, and a special thank you to my moderators who always keep the chat nice and safe. I love you all to pieces. And until next time, y'all be safe out there in those streets. Bye, y'all.